Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Ben Wilson. I'm a board member of the Interfaith Alliance of Idaho. I live here in Boise, and I stand before you in support of House Bill 2. The Human Rights Act does not compel us to believe that all people are created equal. It prevents actions from inflicting incidental, perhaps, but real harm on gay and transgender individuals in our state. Devaluing human life inflicts harm on our gay and transgender brothers and sisters. If you cherish life, the testimony that you've heard over the past 2 days should compel you to support House Bill 2. A no vote is a clear contradiction to the pro-life message, valuing all human life. It is unfair and not an Idaho value at all to discriminate against anyone in the employment or social marketplace. Our 45-year-old Human Rights Act guarantees that anyone but me is protected. And I don't understand what is wrong with me, why I deserve that. I'm educated, I'm employed, I pay taxes, I volunteer, I'm on board members in our community here in Boise. What sets me apart? Our brilliant Governor Phil Batt wrote the Idaho Human Rights Act in 1969, and he gave appropriate deference to faith communities. No one was or has been forced to appoint people like women or other faith groups within these institutions. This isn't forcing them to accept or to include gay and transgender people in those institutions. No one here wants to undermine religion. Most of us have a religion, some of us don't, but no one would dream of taking that or of changing that. We seek only today to end a special wrong that exists, allowing discrimination and inflicting harm on others. And ending that special wrong, I think, is an Idaho value that we all hold dear. And it's simply unacceptable to allow that discrimination to continue. We must close the chapter on discrimination in Idaho. Even if you believe that being gay is a choice, it isn't. But if you do, you should vote yes on House Bill 2, because we've all chosen to be in the faith community or have the religion or no religion that we have. Should that enable or entitle someone to discriminate against you? What if people could fire you or not rent a house to you because you are Mormon or Methodist or Jewish? It's a very, I would say, identical situation to being refused housing, employment, or public accommodation because you're LGBT. Lastly, the testimony that we've heard over the past few days about sexual deviance. Bless you. About sexual deviance and pedophiles and rapists is outrageous. It is not reflective of this community that is standing before you today. Study after study shows that between 92 and 98% of pedophiles are straight, heterosexual. Why not then discriminate against all straight people? Because we don't make blanket statements about people. I don't fear straight people. You've heard business leaders, employers, entrepreneurs, a Republican House candidate, gun-toting, A-plus rated NRA and Small Business Administration say that discrimination is bad. It's bad for business, and it's harmful. We've seen polls that say 65% of Idahoans support the passage, support these additions to our Idaho Human Rights Act and support protecting gay and transgender people. They support the passage of House Bill 2. Just kidding. Mr. Chairman, committee members, friends, it's time. It's time to add the words sexual identity, sexual orientation, and gender identity to Idaho's Human Rights Act. I support passage of House Bill 2, and I stand for questions.
Are there questions? Representative Crane.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for your testimony tonight. I think I heard in your testimony you said and I appreciate what you're saying, that you don't want to do anything to change or infringe or undermine someone's religious beliefs. What I'm struggling with as we go through the hearing process is members from the LGBT community in other states where they have provisions that they have added the words have sued members of the religious community. And I want to know, how can members, if we were to pass this legislation, how can members in Idaho of that religious community be assured that they're not going to have a lawsuit held over their head if they're simply living out their deeply held religious beliefs?
Mr. Chairman and Representative Crane, I believe that there are distinctions between where these religious beliefs are allowed to be enacted within your church, within the walls of your church, within the institution of churches. I believe that those beliefs should be upheld. And as we've seen, many churches have changed over the 50 years that we've added these protected classes to our Human Rights Act.
Follow up, Mr. Chairman.
Representative Crane.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, sir. So what I'm hearing you say is you can't guarantee that that's not going to happen and cause some assurance to the faith community, and that your beliefs of the LGBT community would supersede their beliefs in the public square. Is that correct?
I would I would defer to probably the ACLU or a group that would represent those people. I can't make any guarantees about what people will or will not do as far as litigation of discrimination actions go. I'm sorry.
Just to comment, Mr. Chairman, if he wants to respond, that's fine. As we're heading down this path, I mean, I see the collision here that's taking place, and there's no trust from the LGBT community, and there's no trust from the religious community. And the reason is there's a clash of ideals that take place in the public square, and when lawsuits are taking place, then both sides get frustrated and walls begin to go up and suspicion and distrust take place. And so that's what I'm saying. You don't have to respond to that at all. It's just an editorial comment.
Mr. Chairman, may I respond?
You may.
I think we've had 9 years that we've tried to have this conversation in our state here in this building, and it has been denied. So I respect your concerns, and I wish that those concerns had been addressed here a long time ago. Thank you.
Other questions? Representative McCrosty.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson, do you have training as an attorney, or are you currently an attorney, or can you interpret the legal ramifications of the law?
Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Chairman and Representative McCrosty, I don't have that kind of background, unfortunately.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Further questions? Thank you.